Do you believe that you are responsible for your current situation and are in control of your destiny? Or do you believe that life's events are down to fate, chance, and the actions of other people? In this video, we're going to explore one of the most powerful mindsets that you can have in order to take control of your career and your life. It's the empowered mindset. When I was 17 and had just started studying psychology, after the first year my grade was at a D, and my teacher at the time told me that it wasn't worth doing any resits to try and increase the grade because based on my previous performance in other exams in other subjects, the D grade was about what would be expected. The exams were harder, there was a lot of work to be done, so just leave it how it is. There's not really anything that you can do to improve your grade. It would have been easy for me at that point to believe what she was saying and to protect my self-esteem by saying, yes, the exams were difficult. Everybody else did struggle with the exam as well. So maybe it's not me, it's everything else. But fortunately for me, my parents were also in this conversation, and I learnt one very valuable lesson on this day. After an impassioned row with my teacher and what can only be described as a Coach Carter-esque speech to me on the way home, I began to see the value in the empowered mindset. On the way home, my parents asked me these questions. They said, "Is psychology important to you, Joe? Is it important that you get a good grade next year? Are you prepared to work hard for this grade? Will you take extra tuition if needed?" Yes, 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 yes were my responses. And then my mum said, "Then don't you dare let this lady tell you that your grade next year is out of your control. You are responsible for what happens in the next 12 months. Psychologists refer to this empowered mindset as the internal locus of control. That is, that you take responsibility for things that have happened to you, and you also take ownership and control of things that will happen in the future. Taking on this internal locus of control, I did get extra tuition, I did work extra hard the following year, I improved my grade from a D to a B, I then went on to get a degree in psychology and then a master's in psychology. So it looks like my parents were right and I'm eternally grateful to them for that. And the research shows us that people who have an internal locus of control, or the empowered mindset, are less vulnerable to depression, do better in school, deal better with stress, are more active in finding solutions to problems, are more satisfied with their jobs, and are more oriented towards achieving their goals. Of course, some things are truly outside of our control. And then if you have an extreme internal locus of control, you may lose some humility and maybe forget to thank some people that have been really influential along your success. Or you may blame yourself too harshly for things that haven't gone so well. And so you need to make sure that you're focusing on the important things in life, and with some reflection and perhaps working with a coach or a mentor, it can be really useful to reflect on the situations that you've gone through and actually think about what it is that you could have done differently and what you can do going forward to take control of these situations. And here's one simple exercise that you can do right now to see whether you have more of an internal locus of control or an external locus of control. Take a few moments to reflect on one thing that's gone really well for you this week and one thing that didn't go quite as you planned or went badly for you this week. And take a quick estimation of how much ownership and responsibility do you hold for those two events. Then take a couple of minutes for each one of those situations and break them down even further. Ask yourself the following questions. What were the decisions and actions that led you to that situation? Were you proactive? Did you take any risks? What was your body language communicating to yourself and to other people? What were your emotions? Were those emotions helpful? How did you respond once there was an outcome? I would expect that if you didn't already have an internal locus of control, that by breaking these situations down and reflecting on what it was that you were responsible for or could have had ownership of in those situations, that you will start to realize the amount of power and control that you can have over many different situations that might initially seem as being out of your control. So if you're struggling with something in your career or in your life right now, then take action to make sure that you are in control of what happens. Recognize that where you will end up in 5 years' time is going to be largely dependent upon the actions that you take or don't take between now and then. So, if you hate your job, then start looking for a new one and explore what options are available in the market. If you don't know what you should be doing with the rest of your life, then get a coach and see if you can explore what lies in your future. If you don't have the skills that you need to follow certain paths, then get learning and get practicing. Take control of your future. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me right now and subscribe so that you don't miss out on the future content that's coming up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.